Mick Gray chats with Micah Nelson, August 18th, 2023.
How are you?
I'm all things considered, I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I just to get it out of the way, I got to ask you. I know your family property is on Maui. I'm pretty sure it's on the opposite side of the island, but still, it's
Yeah.
on. Have you been hearing anything new? I know your brother's been over there and been helping with relief and stuff like that.
Yeah, luckily my brother is there now. I've been on tour for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But playing in my dad's band, supporting him, and then also doing some solo Particle Kid stuff with this Outlaw Music Fest.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily my brother's there right now helping out with a bunch of our friends, and we luckily are on the North Shore. So anyway,
it's so horrific, and I can't
Yeah.
imagine you knowing the area. I mean, you kind of grew up on that island, right?
yeah, spent many years there growing up, and it's very surreal, and it's horrific. It's a
Yeah.
total tragedy, but that community there is very resilient, and it's really nice to see everybody pulling together to support each other. So I hope we'll keep seeing more of that.
Yeah, all we can do is hope for the best, send good vibes, send money, send support, anything you can do to them, man.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff that I've been kind of reposting and posting on all my social media stuff about, like, petitions we can all sign to make sure that Maui Electric, when they rebuild the power lines, they do it underground
Oh, yes.
instead of above ground, which was the cause of it. And there's
Yep.
going to be just more heat and more dryness and more
Right.
wind and storms and stuff.
Everywhere in the
So-
world now. Everywhere in the world, all lines have to be put underground now when they put them in.
Yeah, that's the world we live in. So
Yeah,
we got to prepare for that and not be dumb.
Yeah,
about
God, that's for sure. We all got to get smarter as far as our environment. And oh man, we're starting off on this, but I needed to ask you about it because I had been worried. I knew you guys' family property was on the island, and let's just hope for the best there. But last time, I mean, I saw you perform in Half Moon Bay about a month or two ago, which was a great show. Oh my God, it was a lot of fun.
Thanks. At the Old Princeton Landing. Is that the one?
Yeah, that was a great show.
That was a very cool place.
And I love it. Every time I've seen you it's a multimedia thing. You do great artwork, but you do great animation, and you put these videos behind you that are like hypnotic, mesmerizing, and a hell of a lot of fun to watch while we're watching you guys too do your thing, Oh, who's that behind you there?
That's Suki. I just noticed
Suki.
Carrie's dog.
Yeah, we got dogs. That's Bud up there.
Hey, Bud.
Yep, and Bud meets Suki. Suki meets Bud. Suki's like not interested. Suki's like, I want to just go to sleep.
She's got a stick. So
a
she's pretty
stick.
much. That's like video games for her. She's
dog video games stick. Exactly.
Yeah. The world dissolves around stick and ball.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Said the word.
Oh, you said ball.
So loud.
Is it like what happens when you say walk? Because my dog goes crazy if you say walk.
She likes that too.
That one? There's this special. Every dog has special words, I think.
Yeah, we can't say the B word. We have to say like the precious.
The precious. That's a good one. Then she'll get used to that too, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
I'm sorry. I'm derailing your whole.
Oh no, no problem. But I'm just so jazzed to have you here. We talked. You probably remember 2016 on one of my early Deep Cut podcasts. You were a guest on that, and I enjoyed it so much. And I've been following your career even before that, and I just dig what you do. And I'm just
thank you.
And I'm just fucking upset that I didn't get a time capsule when I got my CD of the latest. I bought that CD and go, I know I'm going to be lucky. I'm going to get a time capsule. Tell them about your time capsules that you made.
There's still a chance. They haven't all been found. Only I think like 7 or 8 of them have been found.
I should buy another CD is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. They're still out there.
So how many are still available?
Well, I made 20. There's 20, time tokens hidden in the random CDs, and 7 of them have been found.
No way.
So there's still
that's a tip. Not many people know that, you guys. So if you buy Lucas's new time capsule CD from your website, right?
Well, not Lucas's. It's my record.
Did I say
just a slip of the tongue?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant.
When you buy Micah's,
basically the same person.
Oh God, come on. You buy Micah's.
So if you get a time capsule CD, make sure to check inside of it when you open it up to see if there's a time token inside of it.
And what do they get if
it's a
that's
little
in there?
Square token. It's got a QR code on it, and you scan that, and it'll take you to a place where you register it, and then you get a time capsule that I made out of hempcrete. It's like an egg-shaped capsule, and it opens up, and inside of it there are a few things. There's
anything to smoke inside of it?
No. But
okay.
Even better. Way better. There's a bag of organic hemp seeds that I cultivated myself, industrial hemp seeds. So this is something for the future, speaking of thinking ahead and being smart about preparing for the world we live in.
Right.
Industrial hemp is a crop that can be used, the entire plant can be used to make everything from fuel to fiber and textiles to bioplastics to fireproof building materials, carbon negative industry, paper, medicine, so many things that we use all kinds of toxic things to make. We can make it even better with hemp. And so this was something I felt that should be in the time capsule.
Yeah.
And then also you've got a little thumb drive that's got a secret video message on it, which I'm not going to say anything about, but it's a secret, so
I got to try to get another one. I'm going to get another one. I'll just give them out to people.
And then what else is in there? Alex, what else is in the time capsule? I forgot. It's been so long since someone found one.
But they're really cool. I mean, it's just a giant egg. It's about, what do you think it is? What is it? About 10 inches oblong?
Oh, wait. So yeah, it's like yay big.
Yeah.
But I remembered, it's really cool. The third thing in the time capsule, it's a ticket to the concert in the year 2042. So that ticket is good for every Particle Kid event.
How old would I be
in the year 2042?
I might be too old.
Too old? What are you talking about? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I can't even do the math in my mind, but I'm 64 and 2023, 24. Oh, okay. I'd still be rocking.
You'll be a young buck. Yeah, come on.
I'll still be rocking, man.
You're going to be rocking. Yeah,
and is it any show in that year?
Yeah, for that whole year, that ticket is good for, general admission.
Well, I tell you, everybody, get this thing because it's a cool, if nothing else, just a cool collector's item. And we can take and we can literally be Johnny Hempseed and plant and help the environment. The question is, okay, we're getting deep here again. Why the hell haven't we for the last 100 years been using this literal weed that'll grow anywhere and we can make anything out of it? Why haven't we been using it? It's ridiculous. The easiest thing to grow.
You want to go there right
No,
now?
I don't want.
That's a long conversation.
That is, but I mean, I had to throw it out there, even though, man, it's just ridiculous, man.
Well, long story short, we actually during World War II, the U.S. government subsidized every farmer in America to grow hemp. It was illegal not to grow it for the war effort. My grandfather was a paratrooper in World War II. His parachute was made of hemp. His vest was made of hemp. The ropes that were on the ships.
Yeah.
The sails of the Mayflower were made of hemp.
So in the day,
big
they
part of
were using it.
The founding of our country. Every one of the founding farmers grew hemp.
But when was that moment? When was that moment that it just turned around? Was it like during the?
That was the war on drugs that Nixon started.
That's when it started. That's when.
Yeah, that screwed up a lot of stuff. We're still paying for that. But the positive thing is that the war on drugs is kind of over, more or less. So thanks to a lot of smart people fighting for that for many, many decades.
And I would imagine
a lot of people are still, reeling from all of that and having to deal with the consequences of it. But we've made a lot of headway in legislatively, and like we got hemp removed from the Controlled Substances Act.
Yeah.
I did a petition on change.org back in 2018, I think, to get that removed, and it got like 150,000 signatures or something. And so it was introduced in the 2019 Farm Bill, the Industrial Hemp Farming Act.
Wow.
And so that removed industrial hemp from the Controlled Substances Act. Now there's been a whole lot of bullshit about like the amount of THC that can be in the crop legally, and there was this erroneous number that was based on nothing that was 0.3%, which is like, you need at least 5% to even feel anything from smoking it. If you're dumb enough to try and smoke hemp,
it's not smokable. Give me a good sore throat, right?
This is how powerful the propaganda of the war on drugs was.
It really is. It really,
It brainwashed an entire generation of people to think that, for one, smoking herb is like this horrible thing, equivalent of, smoking crack or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just completely missing out on just the countless benefits of not even just the medicinal properties of cannabis, but hemp, the industrial cousin of marijuana, was totally shafted by all this, and forgotten about. This entire billion-dollar industry, for one, and one that's sustainable. If you want to talk about build back better and make America great again and stuff, like, this thing checks all the boxes. You've got something that brings a cash crop back to American family farmers. It's sequesters more carbon than trees. It grows from seed to maturity in 3 to 4 months, so you can get up to 3 yields per year. God. It requires 0 pesticides, very, very little water. It just needs sun, and it's so easy to grow it. And the hard part, I guess, that we face right now is getting that percentage of THC limit to at least 3%. Because otherwise, all these Fortune 500 companies that want to invest in something like that they're paranoid, because if they're brainwashed. If their crop tests over 0.3%, which is ridiculous and very hard to grow a crop that of any strain of cannabis that's going to be below that, then the government comes in and inspects that. If it's
Uh,
tests hot, then your whole crop is useless. You have to burn the whole thing and get rid of it. And you just
Unbelievable.
wasted a bunch of time and money and energy. And so once we can get rid of that nonsense, and raise that limitation of THC amount, minimum, whatever, or maximum required, and then also, uh, bring back our infrastructure for processing it, because
Mm-hmm.
we used to have these machines called decorticators, which are very expensive unless you go to China. They've been using them for years now, and they have the best ones over there. And we're totally shooting ourselves in the foot, not, subsidizing these, but they're a machine that you use to take the hemp plant and shove it in there, and it processes the whole plant very quickly.
Wow.
It strips the bast fiber off, which can be used for textiles and rope and things like that,
Huh?
to get to the hurd, which is the woody core of the plant.
Yeah.
And that's what it chops up kind of like wood chips into like a shiv, and that's what's used to make things like hempcrete,
Yeah.
which is what every house in Lahaina should be rebuilt with, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a breathable wall that's fireproof, mold resistant, pest resistant, and carbon negative, because all of
God.
that carbon is now stored in your house.
Yeah.
Um,
And a totally great insulator too, I bet.
it's great. There's a company called Hempitecture that we've been working with to insulate our house. We've done some hempcrete stuff, but it's a really cool product they make called hemp wool, which is a batted, regulation size cut piece of insulation that's made from the bast fiber. And instead of that pink cotton candy fiberglass
That's
toxic crap,
disgusting. Yeah.
you have this thing that it doesn't itch. It's not toxic. You can use your bare hands with it, and it's just like this batted insulation that fits snugly in between the studs. And you
Damn.
just take it. You can cut it, rip it any size you want, and just. And so
Wow.
we did that around our whole house. And it was so easy to work with, and it's
Too
been
cool.
great. Our house stays cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
Well, you're an amazing advocate for this, and we need more people like you doing this in the world, man. This is information that everybody needs to move forward to, man. Well, what do you? Okay, now the Outlaw. Let's change the subject completely. The Outlaw Festival, music festival, is that over? Or you still got some more dates?
We're off for like 3 weeks, and then it kicks back up again next month.
That was only East Coast shows. It wasn't anything West Coast.
No, we haven't done any West Coast this year. I did a Particle Kid tour,
Yeah.
West Coast tour back in like May.
Right.
But the Outlaw Festival's been Midwest and East Coast.
Looks outrageous. John Fogerty, Margot Price, Robert Plant, Alison Krauss are on that too.
Oh yeah, they were fantastic.
What
if you ever get a chance to see them, it's so
I've seen him
incredible.
a few times. I never got to see Zeppelin, but every time Robert Plant has come around, I think I've seen him with the band with Buddy Miller, and that band was amazing, man. That was some great shows.
Yeah.
Oh man, that must be a fantastic show to be at, man. To be being involved with all those people. Speaking of people like that, you've grown up around a lot of what I would call music heroes. Is there a meeting that you will never forget of one of your heroes just one? There's probably more than one, but I mean, was there one that a story you could tell us, a meeting of somebody that you were just like, oh.
I really liked hanging out with Keith Richards.
Oh my God.
He's a beautiful guy and such a nice hang.
Yeah.
He really mellowed me out and just
wow.
Played guitar and talked about life and drugs and music and like.
Were you on some kind of a tour together, or was he coming to visit?
He was on the he played the 90th birthday
Oh
thing,
yes,
the Hollywood Bowl.
that was amazing. That was some good stuff. Are they putting that out?
So
On DVD?
there was like a theatrical cut that came out in theaters, ran for about a week,
Yeah.
a month or so ago. And but yeah, I believe they're gonna be doing like a series, some kind of thing
Because
where
I just sat one night on YouTube just collecting every little like home shot of it, and every
Yeah.
one of them were just, everybody was having a blast. Everybody was inspired. It looked like it was a phenomenal show, man.
it was a great show, and I'm glad they captured it so well. And there's going to be a album, and
I was assuming they were going to go full bore on it because it just was a special night, man. What about, I know you guys toured, you and your brother with the Promise of the Real toured with Mr. Neil Young for a couple tours, I think.
Hmm.
And
several, yeah.
yeah, are you going to be doing that again? I thought I heard Neil say something about you guys doing something again.
Yeah, I mean, don't quote me on this or anything, but Neil's been asking me to join Crazy Horse for a few years now.
Wow.
So we might be doing some stuff.
I think it was on the Rick Rubin interview. He was like pretty much saying that kind of.
Yeah. He just hadn't really been touring, you know?
Yeah.
So he just did this great run of shows solo, which was amazing.
Wow.
I went and saw him in Berkeley, and that was great. I'm glad he did that solo. He wanted to do it with me and the horse and everything, but they couldn't put it together how he wanted to do it. And you know, he changes his mind a lot, so drives the agents crazy who are booking stuff. And anyway, I'm glad he did it solo because he hadn't been playing in so long live.
Yeah.
He was able to get back in his groove and you know, dust off the rust and everything.
Yeah,
And,
I know he and your dad have been friends forever and ever and ever, so he's been in your life for your whole life too, huh?
Yeah, more so in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I would see him at Farm Aid every year.
Yeah.
And or like, you know, they played the Picnic one year.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really close with Neil until we started playing together.
That's pretty amazing, man. Those records you guys have made with Neil and the Promise of the Real together are cool. I just played that, you know, that one cut off of what is that,
Earth, yeah, the live record.
And that's just a real cool. It's really, but it's like, it's kind of live and kind of not live, isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah, that album's like a movie, you know.
Yeah, it's trippy.
We recorded. He records everything, but we did a bunch of tours together, and we toured through Europe. And like after that, he took all his favorite stuff that we did, and then he sampled a bunch of sounds like animals and people and just sounds that were not actually there, but sometimes when you heard the crowd roaring, like it kind of sounded like there's a bunch of like
nature
crows or chickens or like, you know, animals, like farm animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nature.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this interesting sound painting, you know. He kind of paints these scenes with the animals and the music, and there are these voices that he added on there, the vanilla singers, he called them, which were like, you know, these perfect harmonies. They sound like a fucking commercial, you know.
Yeah, up with people.
It's so corny
chorus.
and like, yeah, like when he first played it for me. We were in an airport somewhere in Europe, and he was like playing me what he's doing, and I was like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, who are these fucking like commercial jingle vanilla singers on here? Like, what is, why? You know, we should like run them through some, like, I don't know, like a cool sounding speaker, or make them sound cool, because they're just like so clean and shiny, and like it's so stupid, you know? And he was like, well, I realized that was the point, you know, because they're all kind of like representing corporate America.
Oh
That was the
yeah,
character of this vanilla singers. They're
yeah.
corporate America coming in,
Like a corporate
and it's
America
so
commercial, right?
juxtaposed against, you know, the sound of the band live, just totally raw and real, and then like
Wow.
nature, animals and stuff coming through. And it's like, that's why it sounded so out of place to me. It was like jarring, like what the, but that was the point. That was
He
the message,
he
is
got it
like,
across.
you know, corporate America is so jarring and fake and stupid
God.
and like phony, you know? And that's what it feels like when you hear that record. He captured that really well.
That's fantastic, man. He's a special dude, man, and I hope I hear more with you guys together. That'll be pretty fun, man. Another band that you've been touring with, the Flaming Lips, man. Now I can't even imagine going out on tour with Wayne Cohn and the Flaming Lips. It must be a pretty crazy thing, because it looks, whenever you see videos of it, it just looks like a gigantic, insane party, you know?
Yeah, that's what we try to do every night. We try to create the party at the end of the universe
Yeah,
every
it's
night.
fantastic. Does he do that inside the giant rolling inflated ball all the time?
Yeah, pretty
That looks
much.
like it would wear you out.
Yeah, well, especially since COVID, you know,
That's a great COVID
he
protector.
started. You would think he actually, there was one tour. I mean, this last tour with them seemed to have been like, you know, this 3-year long tour that we kept trying to make happen. At first it was postponed because of COVID, and then, you know, we tried to do it again, um and then like 3 or 4 shows in, Wayne got COVID,
Ugh.
and he was the only one. Somehow he's the only one in a bubble, you know.
Yeah,
And
he's in the
somehow
bubble.
yeah, I'm like, dude, why you, what? So, and he was okay,
Good,
but
good.
that postponed the, I mean, it kind of, you know, he was messed up for like a couple weeks, but he's fine. And they're actually playing in LA tonight.
Oh wow.
um but yeah, so then that got pushed back till later that year, and finally we finished this tour, of the West Coast. And I
And you
actually I started with the Lips because they, um well, we did this tour with them and Claypool Lennon Delirium,
That's
and
another
then
band I was going
Particle
to ask
Kid,
you about. Yeah.
back in 2019, which was an exhausting tour because they all had tour buses, and me and my band, we were in a van, and it was like a
No.
3,000-mile tour. You know, we
Oh
started
my
in
God.
California, we went all the way up to across the country up to New York, and then down the East Coast, down through the South, and at one point we broke off from them and we did kind of our own thing through the South and then back west. Um,
Wow.
and our van flooded, and it was just,
Ah.
we hit some storms. It was like 8-hour drives every day, you know, really glamorous shit.
Yeah, you guys were
And
really roughing it, man. And they're in the band. They're in the. They. Hey, you want to come in the van for a minute and have a beer? Come on in and have a beer with us.
well, there was one night where I forget where we were, like North Carolina or something. We were in some outdoor place, and it starts torrentially raining during Particle Kid set, and we didn't want to stop. We were just going and going, and then there was lightning, and a guy came up and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna die if you don't stop. You know, there's lightning. You
Oh
gotta
my
stop."
God.
So and this venue stupidly designed their whole backstage where like it was almost like the water was intentionally built to be diverted into the backstage. It's like you could
Oh,
just stick a barrier there. I mean, but the whole backstage got totally flooded, like a foot of water. And it was like all of our stuff got soaked. So, and they pushed the show time back. And so we're backstage, blow drying all of our pedals and our guitars.
no,
But it
God.
was like the first time that, in a way, it was kind of nice to have that slowdown, that break, because it was the first time we could just kind of sit still for a minute and
Yeah.
hang out with the other bands and just kind of chill, wait for our stuff to dry out. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that tour was really, really amazing and exhausting.
Yeah, I just saw Claypool on tour doing the whole Animals album with Sean and Harry Waters, Roger Waters'
Oh, right.
son on keyboards too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable show. Really, really great show.
Yeah, I was sad to miss that. Les asked me to be in that band,
Wow.
and I wanted to, but I just didn't have the time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're pretty amazing.
those guys are cool, and Harry Waters is cool. I met
Yeah.
him years ago. Nice guy.
Yeah, I got to meet him too. I think I've been trying to get him on the show. He might be on the show soon. And then Sean, you record is on your new record. Sean Lennon,
Yeah, Sean played on Velociraptor.
which is a way cool song. I got to play that.
Yeah, he did some really great, cool stuff on that song.
He's an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, and singer. He's just
Yeah,
extremely talented.
he really is, man.
He's a
Just
superhero. Yeah.
one of those guys, man. What else can I ask you about before you run away from me? Your time is almost up here, and I don't want to hold you too much, but I want to show a couple pieces of your art because I don't know how many people realize what you do. I have a couple pieces loaded up here, so hold on. Let me just go through a few. Um, here's a cool piece of art that Micah did.
That was album artwork for Graham Lesh and his band Midnight North, their new album.
Is that Phil's son?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Really cool piece right there.
Thanks.
I am amazed by everything I see by you. There's some fantastic stuff. Look at this.
Thank you.
Here's a portrait of Dad, man. And this was an album cover also, right? Was it?
Well, it was based on the cover of the album Spirit.
Oh yes, that's right, which was a
one
photo.
of my favorite records. And that was actually, that painting became the cover of Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die, the book that he wrote.
Yes. Great book. I think that's just kind of a piece of the art. I don't think that's the full piece of art right there, is it?
Right. It looks like it's cropped, but yeah, I did a whole little series of these cosmic eggs with these like
to coincide
beings.
To coincide with the time capsules?
Yeah, it was around that time.
Nice.
This was all swimming around this concept of
you do some amazing stuff, man. It's just unbelievable.
Thanks, man.
When did you start hanging and playing with your dad? I mean, it was pretty young, wasn't it?
I started playing harmonica in his band when I was about 3 years old. And Mickey Raphael, he's the harmonica player.
Been with your dad forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, everyone would think that Mickey was my dad because I would sit next to Mickey with my harmonica, and we both had crazy hair, and eventually he would hand me the microphone so I could, you could hear me, and once I got good enough and take little solos and stuff. But that was a really great musical and a formative musical imprint on the nervous system, because harmonica is a great tool to learn music, because
Yeah.
if you're in the right key, if you have the right key harmonica, whatever the song is in, no matter what you do, it's going to at least be in tune with the song. So you don't have to think too much about technical stuff. You can just focus on being
Melodic.
expressive
Yeah.
and how it feels to kind of insert phrases. And then the best lesson I ever had from Mickey and playing in that band was leaving space.
Yeah.
Space is the place. Space is a member of the band.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
you don't want to play over space too much. You think of it like a blank canvas, choosing where to put, how to compose the image there, and where to leave space.
Yeah.
That's just as important as the thing. Like a cup is like, everyone says, is it half full or half empty? And it's like, if the emptiness is the part of the cup that makes it useful, it's a stupid question.
Exactly.
So that's you can apply that to art and music and life.
Yeah.
All of those things relate to each other. And so playing harmonica uh on stage with my dad in that band
Unbelievable.
as a young kid was a very important part of my
I saw your
journey.
I saw your dad once at the Hollywood Bowl with Ryan Adams and Nico Case opening,
Cool.
and your brother was on guitar. He was very young at the time, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even know anything that he was playing or anything. So he's there in the band playing, and
Yeah.
I was very surprised that night. That was a fantastic show, man. Ryan Adams was doing a full like Grateful. He had Phil Lesh in the band that night, and they were doing a full Grateful Dead show.
Oh,
And
cool.
Nico Case opened with her amazing set too. It was a great night at the.
Nico Case is great.
Oh
um
God.
yeah,
So
eventually I started getting into drums and percussion and stuff, so I would play percussion in his band, and my brother picked up the guitar around the same time, and so we would play in his band, and kind of rotating around. Lucas actually, I remember when I was playing harmonica, he started playing percussion in the band, sitting in with Billy and Paul back there. And so both of us really have grown up in that
in
band,
the band, yeah.
playing in the
And
band.
and then when you guys got out, you were in Promise of the Real for quite a long time with your brother too.
Well, I was always sort of in and out of that band,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we had, various bands that we played in together growing up, and eventually, you know, he started doing his thing, I started doing my thing, and that's kind of around the time I started playing in Insects versus Robots.
I saw you open for him at Great American Music Hall once. Yeah.
Yeah, and those were fun shows, because like
Yeah.
we would, my band would play and then his band would play, and then at the end we'd all just like mash our band together on stage. There'd be like 9 people, 2 drummers and 2 bass players, and just a million guitar players, and you know Nikita on fiddle, and
Yeah.
that was
I want to ask you
that
about
was a good time.
a guy in your band that's been with you for a while, Milo. Milo is an amazing musician. He
Yes, he's
he
an
just
amazing
I remember
many
seeing him
things.
in Insects and Robots. He blew me away, and then just this last time with Particle Kid, that when I saw him up in Half Moon Bay, you guys, he's a great addition. To have him with you, and I like the way you guys play off of each other. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Milo's a beautiful freakazoid, talented alien.
I love Freakazoid aliens. They're just the best, man. There's nothing like it, man.
Yeah, he's one of the first people I met when I moved to LA, like on Venice Beach. He's one of the first friends I made out there.
Wow.
And
When did you come out there?
end of 2007.
And you're
Uh,
still headquartered there? You're still living there?
No, I got out of there
Oh,
a
okay.
couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I still visit all the time. I have
Yeah.
lots of friends and people that I
Yeah.
work with there,
Right.
but yeah, I moved out.
Yeah.
I live far up north now.
Oh, up north California?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's great. Oh, well, that's wonderful country, man. Wonderful country.
Yeah.
You know what? You are the best to even be here. You know, I don't want to hold you too long, but I want to play another song off of your new record before you go. Is there a you want to pick one? I just played when I'm high, but is there another song you'd like to hear off the new record?
I've heard them all, so play whichever one you like.
Let's play Velociraptor with
Okay.
Mickey Raphael and Sean Ono Lennon. KMiC Radio. We're talking with. Will you hang for just a few more minutes before we after the song we can talk a little bit
Sure.
more? Awesome. You're the best. KMiC Radio with Micah Nelson. There you go.
Am I back?
Yeah, Terry was saying that you and Sean seem to have the similar aesthetic. You think he'll be working with him anymore?
I hope so.
It does. It seems like you guys would really mesh well.
Well, that song is he played a lot on that song. You know, he sent me a bunch of stuff. He has all these great old gizmos and gear from,
He's a
all
real
of his
gearhead,
his
huh?
dad's old stuff, and
Oh
he
my
played a
God.
bunch of stuff and then sent it to me, and then I kind of chopped it up and did my thing with it, and then the rest of it is just me and Aaron and Tony, and then Mickey did some great like dinosaur screams with the harmonica, and then
Wow.
he'd used a bass harmonica at one point to do like this sort of, I don't know,
A growl.
growling
Yeah.
dinosaur thing.
God.
And
It's a
yeah,
great song.
that song, I felt like Sean would know what to do,
Yeah.
and then he did.
Yeah.
It was
Somebody mentioned Sean's band Ghost, which I also saw at the Great American Music Hall a couple times. And man, what a powerhouse of a band that was, man.
cool.
Psychedelic to the max. It was wonderful, man. Uh, what does this gentleman mean to you? I know he means a lot to your dad, but Django Reinhardt, man.
Oh yeah, he's the greatest guitar player
Yeah, I
that
mean,
ever lived, maybe.
he's probably the biggest influence on your dad, and you can really feel and hear it in the way your dad plays guitar too.
Nora Jones once said that my dad is like Django with one finger,
Oh my God.
which is perfect. It's
Yes,
totally on point.
because Django was hand was burned. How many?
Yeah,
He only had two
he
or
had
had three
his
or
two fingers. His gypsy caravan burned down, and his fingers melted off. So he had like a little nub, and then he had these two fingers,
yeah.
and that
God,
was it. So all
to
that
think.
amazing, just, totally abstract, expressionistic playing that he does is all with these two fingers.
It's crazy, man. And to talk about your dad's playing. How's he doing, man? How's he feeling? What how old is he now?
He's 90.
Yes, he just turned 90. Oh, obviously, he just had the big party, yeah. He is a what a man. You're I can't even imagine growing up with him as your father, but all I know is just looking at him, I've always thought I want him as president of the United States. That, whenever he talked, I went, he's the guy. I want him running my country, you know?
No, no, you don't.
Okay, somebody mentioned we need more people like you, Micah, in representatives of us in Congress. Would you ever think about running?
No,
It's
not
a
for me.
it's a mess. It's a messy thing, but you can be an advocate and you can do things on your own like you do.
Yeah, I mean everyone can,
Yeah, we
I
all
think
can. Yeah, we all
we
have to be.
we can vote with our dollar and our everyday choices and how we treat each other,
Yeah.
and the covenants we keep. I
Yeah.
mean, that, like, I think we got to remember that the people representing us were, they there's sometimes there's you can be more effective when you just kind of in your everyday life than trying to kind of go in and fight the big machine.
Yeah.
I
We
think we
all.
got to elect people who have integrity,
Hmm, hmm.
and I mean,
Compassion.
that's it. Yeah, compassion. And
I think that's the biggest thing that we need more of in the world, is just more compassion for everybody, rather than me, only me. Doesn't matter what you want, it's me. I mean, well, what
yeah,
about the other people? And it even seems like there's less of that, and I don't really understand when the United States is all immigrants. It's what we are. We came here and we fucked up the Indians' land, the American Indians' land, but we don't understand. We don't think about, oh, well, we're all immigrants. What about everybody else that needs sanctuary, that needs help?
yeah. Uh, there are only so many resources on a planet, and things that grow and grow and grow and grow, and they don't consider balance, um growth at any cost. That is analogous to cancer.
It's a
That's what cancer
societal
does.
cancer, a societal cancer. You just hit it on the head right there.
you know uh
Growth at any cost. Come on.
at a certain point, you have to consider the fact that we are one in the same process as the universe. And the second we forget that, we're fucked. And we've forgotten that for too long. And so, it's coming to bite us. And that's just how the cycle goes.
Yeah.
It's,
And hopefully it is, as you say, a cycle, and it goes around. I mean, we just have to come back to the adage, we are one. We are all one. Once we come back to that and understand that the earth and all humans are one entity, maybe that'll. I always say, why don't the goddamn aliens land? Don't you think the idiots would be scared shitless if the aliens landed and just said, "Hey, we're more powerful than all of you guys." I wish that would
maybe.
happen. I wish that would happen.
I don't know. There's the prime directive to consider, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, if you have your hand held the whole time, you're not going to really grow up.
I hear
Uh,
that. Yeah.
you got to do it yourself. Just like every other civilization that has evolved
Yeah.
past the point of self-destruction, and
Yeah.
it's not something some other god or
Right.
alien or whatever can come and do for you. You have to live through it.
It's
That's the
so
only
true.
way to grow and
Yeah.
and evolve, and process things. You have
And
to
then
live
and
them.
then there's the other side of the alien thing, and I always think also, well, it's probably just they're watching and they're going, no way am I getting involved in that mess that they've got going.
You know, I think that alien is a generalization, because most likely there's so many different groups of
Yeah,
non-human
yeah,
intelligences that have varying agendas and ideas about what's right for the universe and so on. I'm sure there are some that just want to exploit us. Maybe they have been for millennia. And there are probably others that hope that we can get out of our own way so we can, transcend into higher dimensions or into a civilization that can peacefully enter a galactic community of other people that are more advanced,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Alls I try, I try to be a positive person. I try to think that there's enough humans here that still do have compassion.
Too many.
There's enough of us here, but there are enough that have compassion and that they care enough,
Right.
That'll win over. I still feel that can win over, and keep them fingers crossed.
Or maybe it's just about surviving
right
long enough, like maybe it's not good versus evil. Maybe it's just remembering that I think that technology is really only harmful in the hands of people who have forgotten that we're one in the same process as the universe.
Yeah.
The universe, I don't think really considers good or evil necessarily. I think those are Western concepts.
Yeah.
We kind of create, and fire is only hot in relation to your skin.
Yeah.
It's like these are all relative things, good and bad and shit.
Right.
So,
and technology is just part of the giant organism.
Right.
It's all part of that.
Yeah, and there are things in nature that become out of balance, and then they're corrected. That's the thing that comes back to, is nature is always underneath it and on top of it and around it and inside of it and within it, without it, and you can't escape that nature will continue to, if you decide that you think you can dominate it, you never will. We've been doing this same dance since Gilgamesh. It's like if you use up all your resources and you think that you're invincible, you soon realize that you're nothing, and you will, even the most advanced, massive, powerful societies and empires will just collapse and self-annihilate.
Yeah.
Because they forgot that they're nature.
Yeah.
And nature requires balance to sustain itself. So if you look at things that have lasted for billions of years, fungi, for instance, that is an organism that self-regulates. It's one with that process, and so that's what we have to do, is if we want to continue living on the planet, we have to stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to own nature and as if it's like this militant political hierarchy with the commander on the top and everyone down.
Humans always think they're the ones that control, and they're not. They're not in control. They want to be. They think they might be able to, but they're not in control.
Yeah, we have to be in a healthy competition with nature to survive. Just like everything else in nature is in healthy competition. A lion goes and kills an antelope or whatever, and he feeds his family. He's not going up and setting up an antelope slaughtering factory and killing millions of them and selling them to his friends and cornering the antelope market so that he can monopolize antelopes, and then genetically modifying the antelopes to, it's like, that's insane.
The human mind out of control. Insane. Yeah, out of control.
And it's not sustainable, and it will always self-sabotage. It's a suicide path.
Yeah.
And so I think if we can, I don't know, something's got to give, because unfortunately it seems like the people who are at that helm, have that so much power, they don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So much money, they don't know what to do with it. Sociopathic people, that they're unfortunately the ones that can
Make the difference.
change things.
And they're
And we're
so,
to a certain degree at their mercy, unless we all get together and work together and
well,
become resilient as people,
I mean,
to get over our stupid, distracting conflicts that really have nothing to do with the future.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It seems like in the last couple years, in the last 3-4 years, that people are standing up more. I hope it's just not me hoping. I hope it's really happening, but it seems like unions are getting together more. People are more involved in protesting against problems. I hope that positive energy keeps moving forward and getting bigger. That could possibly help.
There's lots of positive things happening, and like you said, there's so many people that want to get together and work together and believe that people deserve better, and something's got to give. I mean, everyone's on strike. It's probably only a matter of time before musicians go on strike too.
I mean,
it's pretty whack.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solution is even, but
right.
I think you're right that we have to unionize and get together and like demand that in the least the people that work hard to make any of this stuff happen in the first place get treated with respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we look at we have the whole entertainment industry, other than the musicians, are holding out right now. They're just sitting there, they're trying to make some difference here. And gosh, I mean, everybody loves entertainment. Without it, I know I'm hurting. I hate not having late night TV and, the late night shows, and I hate not having, all the stuff that I could be watching or checking out. But it has to happen. It's corporate greed again. It's they're taking it all and giving nothing back.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're betting on that, AI can replace all of it, and we don't need creative people anymore. We'll just have like fake artists, and
oh man,
and that's gonna satisfy people's souls enough.
Now you're going down another rabbit hole. Now you're bringing up the AI thing, and yeah, I mean, the top of the corporate that run all of entertainment see that logically in their own insane egotistical mind as, well, this is it. It's cheap and I don't have to do anything. We already have all the art. Oh, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And everybody else, and fuck everybody else.
Right.
It's
from when you think of it that way, yeah, it makes perfect sense. If from a totally sociopathic,
yep, and
greedy,
that's the way their minds think. They're
mentality.
Not thinking.
But I think that I like to think that the people who, the audience for all of this stuff, the reason people come to see live music, the reason people go to the movies and all this kind of stuff is for the human connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I don't know. But
But
I do.
yeah, me too. Me too. And I hope AI is just something that's being played with right now, and they will see
Well,
that it's not human, that it's not the real thing. It's not the real thing, and it's ripping off. That's the saddest thing, is it rips off little guys that happen to have done something cool, and it grabs it and uses it.
right. And we
It's a
have to
monster.
kind of decide how much we value humans. I mean, that's to kind of generalize all of it and look to where it's headed. We're basically evolving ourselves out of existence.
Yeah.
We're rushing into a future where we're irrelevant and obsolete, and where we're not the superior intelligence on the planet, and we're doing that to ourselves. I mean,
Sci-fi movie becomes real.
Yes,
which happens all the time. Sci-fi movies become real all the time.
I just don't understand how none of these people seem to have ever seen a fucking sci-fi movie.
Exactly.
Like,
didn't you watch that?
Did they not
that was 19 that was
Terminator
19
2?
Yeah,
like, what, did you miss that? It's like, I keep reading all these articles about this stuff, and it's like, why do I get a terrible feeling from this? And I'm reading about this stuff, and it seems like they just all think this is great. Like, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
What am I missing that like they're just so excited about this? It's like,
yeah,
it's suicidal shit. And it's like, either they've never read a Philip K. Dick novel in their entire life,
right,
or they've never watched any dystopian sci-fi,
right.
Or they just don't care or something. Like, it's like too exciting. It's too awesome.
I think for the people that make the decisions, it's both of those things. They don't care, and they never saw or read those.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll probably be dead by the time.
Oh my God.
This all just comes back to bite us. I don't know.
We have gotten relatively deep and dark here.
Well,
on KMiC Radio tonight.
When to kind of go back to the people who create things need to make money to survive. Like, I saw, last month, I think Snoop Dogg was saying something about the streaming services screwing over artists. He's like, where's my fucking money?
Yeah.
And, on one hand, it's like, yeah, Snoop, we've been screaming about this for like years now. Like, you're just now figuring this out, that artists are getting screwed, but on the other hand, it's like, oh, thank God, finally the people who can make a difference about this and really like move and shake,
people that
influence
notice
labels and influence, like are feeling the burn, and they're like, oh, where's my money?
Right.
Until that happens, it's kind of like how when some new renewable energy thing comes out and it's like too expensive for most people, it's like only rich people can afford it. It's like, okay, this is your job now, rich people, go buy this stuff so you can test it out and we can make sure it's cool, and then these companies can make some money so they can make it better
and cheaper
and then everyone else can now.
That's the procedure. That's the procedure.
It's kind of like that, almost in reverse, where it's like, okay, Snoop, now you get why everyone in the world is like, this sucks. We nobody can make it as a musician. Let's do something about it. Stomp your fist in the meeting, and I don't know, get some people on board to like legislate this somehow.
That's the way it needs to happen. It needs to happen that way. I mean, in Hollywood, that's kind of the same way it's been happening, where the big artists, a lot of the big actors who are making tons of money, are speaking up for the little guys. They have to.
Right. Yeah, that's
to
happening
make it
too,
all work,
So that's I think where we're at is like, you know, whether you're a super famous star or you're just somebody who loves music and films and whatever, you know, there's a lot of us, and we all see this as a kind of a crisis that needs to be dealt with before it's too late. And I think if we all keep pushing for some kind of solution to it, where we're not deleting ourselves, you know, and valuing corporate profits over quality art and quality music and quality experience. I mean, I think at a certain point, everyone is gonna feel something that so many of us have felt for a long, long time, that the experience of being a human on Earth is becoming cheaper and cheaper. Like the experience is cheap, you know, like the stuff you buy, the music that's mass produced, or the whatever. It's like, it just, the formats of that it's consumed on, it's like, unless you're deliberately, you know, navigating yourself into situations where you're consciously focused on getting the best quality sound or live show, or, you know, film experience, or whatever it is, or you know, farmers market, homegrown, locally organic grown food, you know, whatever category we're talking about, you have to try really, really extra hard to get quality, like on this planet. And
it didn't used to
it
be like that.
sucks. It
Yeah, it
sucks.
wasn't like that in the old days. It was
No,
quality was, everybody tried to make the quality.
well, you know, unfortunately, you know, I love America and everything, but this place sucks right now compared to
It's
so many places.
a
Like
mess.
Italy, like, has recently banned synthetic foods, and like,
Wow.
you know, Monsanto hasn't been allowed in Europe for years now, you know, like
Wow.
GMO shit. It's not allowed there, you know, like
We're behind.
we're so behind. We're so behind, and we think we're so cool and progressive,
We're
and
not.
the leaders. We just have the biggest army. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
it. That's it.
that's why we're the great. It's like, we just have the biggest guns and the most military outposts all over the world.
Right.
So we get to pretend like we're in charge.
It's
And
a bunch of bullshit.
as far as the experience of cheapness and crap that we have to consume on Earth, like, USA sucks right now.
I agree. I agree. We're in a
I
mess.
hate to say that,
It
because
is.
it's
It's
a
a mess.
great place.
I know. I feel the same way. I say it myself, and it just it's sad. It makes me feel bad to say it, but I totally agree with you, man.
Well,
I mentioned bullshit because there's that one of your, almost your signature song is "Everything is Bullshit." Where'd that song come from?
uh, came from my wife, Alex. She was just my girlfriend at the time.
Uh-huh.
She was reading the news or something, and she just said everything is
Screamed it
bullshit.
out. She just screamed it out. Everything is
I think it
bullshit.
was right around the time that of the 2016 election.
Wow! Right when I first
And
interviewed you.
speaking of, she's probably screaming that at me right now,
Everything
because
is bullshit because you've
we
been on
made
this show
dinner.
too long.
The Native Americans and the
Hold on,
rights.
this is why.
It's about
Come
the
on.
water rights and the indigenous people and what was being done to them.
Oh
during that
wow!
time.
Wow!
Yeah, it's Standing Rock.
Oh man. And when you read that, it was just like, yeah.
Yeah,
It hit you.
that's where that song came from. And then she said that, and I had a guitar in my hand, and I was just trying to make her laugh. I was, everything is bullshit. And I was like, oh, that's kind of catchy.
It's an instant hit as far as I'm concerned, man. Instant hit.
And actually, Neil helped me because I was at his house.
That has a Neil feel to it.
Well, I was
really
at his
does.
house, and we were playing each other new songs that we'd written, and I started singing that, and he started laughing, and that was all I had really at the time, was just the chorus, and he was like, keep going. So like in the moment, I kind of just came out of a bull, and I just started making this up just to make Neil laugh, and then as I kept going, it sort of turned into like this not like less like, it was a little deeper than just a kind of a cathartic joke.
Yeah.
It kind of turned into like a Terrence McKenna stoned ape theory creation story.
It became something.
And then that was it. And then I just went back to the chorus.
Oh my God. Crazy.
And then that was that song.
I feel like I'm holding you up. Do you need to go?
Yeah, I should probably go eat some.
Because I'm gonna play
dinner.
I'm gonna play that song as we go out here. But you
I'm
know
being
what?
summoned.
Tell your wife thank you for letting you hang out with us extra long time here, and thank you for being here, man. I can't wait to
Thanks
get
for
to see
having
you
me.
again. Yeah, I want to come see you guys play again soon. Hopefully, you get around the Bay Area again, and good luck out there. What's your next thing you're going to be working on? Well, I mean, did you say that the Outlaw stuff was done?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple more runs this year.
Yeah.
I might be playing with Neil.
Cool. I'm gonna look for that
at the. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it because
we don't want you to get in trouble or anything. We're just gonna look for you hanging with Crazy Horse maybe in the near future.
Yeah, and I'm working on a album with Daniel Lanois.
Oh my God, really?
And
that guy's brilliant.
And he's a beautiful guy. And
has your dad worked with him? Did he work on some of your?
They did a record together called Teatro.
Yes, that's right. That's a great record.
The 90s.
Yeah.
So we're having a great time with that.
Well, you got some great projects. There's always something new with you. That's why we love you. So keep it on, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big hand, Mr. Micah Nelson. We love him here on KMiC Radio. Everything is goddamn bullshit.